Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Captain Jack. Uh, Tom can't hear me, but if you can hear me, let me know.
Check, check. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I hear
You can hear
you.
me. Yeah. I can't hear
Yes,
you.
okay. If you can hear
So we have to do
me,
this thing in sign language here. Mm.
okay. Can hear. Okay, Asylum says they can hear both of us.
The big mystery of technology.
Yeah. So,
Unless you want me to
Tom,
just
you're
talk.
fucked up.
All right. Well, Jack, welcome
Yeah.
in.
Um,
Sorry that I can't hear you, but we'll try to do this thing the best we can. If you can type stuff into the chat, I can at least respond that way. If
yeah.
not, we'll just have to wing this.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we've been together. There's quite a few things have happened. We've had the draft. We've had undrafted free agents. We've had the mandatory mini camps, which are already dismissed, and of course now we're waiting for the camps to start. We have a new venue. We're going to be in Costa Mesa in Southern California now for the first time. So uh, that's no stranger to Tom Tedesco. So that's his old stomping ground. So that should be familiar with that. We have the Stanley Cup coming up, and of course, we know for a fact that tomorrow night a Stanley Cup is going to be awarded. It could be to your Panthers down there in Florida, who unless they have an epic collapse and follow the same path of the 1942 Detroit Red Wings, who took a 3-0 Stanley Cup lead and then had the reverse sweep done to them by the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what we could be looking at. So the Canadians, the Edmonton Oilers could be bringing their first Stanley Cup to north of the border for them since 1990, and the first in Canada since the Montreal Canadiens did it back in 1993. So we're looking at pretty good chunk of history there. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, Tom, I am going to type
okay,
in the what is it? Private, 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 private.
I wish I could lip read. So
Yeah,
we're trying to do our best here. So
private
so Jack
chat.
can hear me, but I can't hear Jack. So we're I apologize to people that are trying to get this and hmm.
Here, go
All right.
to private chat, you schmuck.
So now I have something that's come up in private chat, but I can't see what the private chat is. So wow, okay. This is riveting. This is riveting radio. For those of you who are in, this is like the blind leading the blind or the deaf leading the deaf. So again, good private chat. Okay. Well, it says private chat, but I can't click on it. So let me click on private chat, and nothing's happening. So let me click on comments. Okay, I can see comments. I want to click on private chat. It just says private chat, and that's all it says. So, uh, yeah. Okay. Let me go back to comments. I can at least
Can
comment.
you
Let's go to
read
private.
this?
Yes, I see that, and when I click on private, it does not let me click on. So let me join the chat here. Okay. I see the chat. I see Diesel. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, we're all dead. Uh, let's see what we have. It says go to private chat, you schmuck. Yeah, I see that. I got that. Uh, so let me go again. It says private chat. It says, can you read this? Yes, I can read that. So there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
So
yes,
the
yes,
first thing you had was
yay!
private chat. So now I've got something that says, can you read this? Yes, I can read that. So
Okay,
so there we
okay,
go.
okay,
There we go.
okay.
So
I'm
so now
going
we're
to
playing
write.
charades. He's going to type
Yes,
something, and,
yes, yes.
and we'll go from there. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is riveting radio here. This is charades. So we type something in and then we answer. So I'm going to do my little soft shoe and song and dance while Jack types in something, which I hope will come up here in just a moment, and then we will continue. Right now, I'm looking all right here. Okay, well, okay, let's try that again.
In comments.
Okay,
See, it's funny because people can hear me.
I got nothing. So,
People
eh,
can hear me. This
mm-mm-mm.
is this
Okay.
is hilarious. Okay, Tom, wait 1 second. 1 second.
So he's going to
Tom,
try something here.
Tom,
He's going to try something. We'll see. We'll see
go ahead and talk
what magic
about
Jack can
this
pull up here.
Stanley Cup. Then I will.
Looking. Right here. Go back to comments. So, what do you guys think about Anthony Brown possibly moving up the depth chart? I'll go ahead and tell you right now. I'm keeping my eye on Carter Bradley. So, Carter Bradley, for those of you who don't know, is an unsigned free agent quarterback out of South Alabama. And he spent 1 year at South Alabama, a Power Five school, or next to five, I guess, non-Power Five school. But before that, he was at the University of Akron. And here is the thing, and you probably know this, Jack, but in case you don't, while he was the quarterback at the University of Akron back in 2021, his father, Gus Bradley, was the defensive coordinator for your Las Vegas Raiders. So there is the connection. So Carter Bradley, undrafted free agent quarterback, is the son of Gus Bradley, who is now the current defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, formerly of the Raiders, and was in Jacksonville with the Jaguars as the head coach when Carter Bradley was back in high school. So he's originally from Jacksonville. So I like this kid. He's 6'3". He's got some height on him, and he's got some good zip on the ball. I'm not saying that he's going to make a lot of noise. I think you'll see a lot of him in training camp. I'm not sure that he's going to be anywhere near making the roster. It really depends on whether the Raiders want to go with two quarterbacks or three. I think we're pretty set on the fact that Aiden O'Connell, I'll call him AO12 now, not AOC. Um, Yep. Some Asylum has already mentioned he's the son of our former defensive coordinator. Absolutely. Um, I definitely see the Raiders keeping two quarterbacks, O'Connell and Minshew. I don't think they're going to keep three. I think Carter Bradley could find his way on the practice squad. They could eventually move him back up, but I think he's going to get a lot of action during the preseason. So, Anthony Brown, I don't know. I'm not as familiar with his body of work as I am with Carter Bradley's. I think that because of the fact that he's a little bit taller and can throw over the opponents probably a little easier than Anthony Brown, I think he probably has a little bit more of an advantage than the latter. But again, I could be wrong. But again, going in, my take on this is I think that the quarterback job is AO12's to win or to lose rather. I think the it's really on him to step up in year two. As Jack and I discussed, and I think I discussed it with quite a few people during the course of last year, I really did not think that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to make it past week 5 anyway. And and Jack knows I was not a big fan of that bringing him on anyway. Um, I think it was inevitable that Aiden O'Connell was going to get thrown into the works early. I think he did a good job for a fourth round pick. And you never know. Sometimes fourth round picks can step up and light the world on fire. Sometimes they'll just kind of hold their own, and sometimes it's a work in progress. Remains to be seen. So we'll see what types of things they have for Aiden O'Connell. But in order for him to really succeed this year, I think really what it's going to depend on is the offensive line. And I'm in much better shape uh, confidence wise with the offensive line than I have been going all the way back to maybe 2019 or 2020. You add a couple of veterans in there, Cody Whitehair from the Bears, who's familiar with the Luke Getsy system, who can play either guard or tackle. You bring in a 10-year vet, Andres Pete, former first round pick. He's going to be a good depth piece. Jack's kind of wiggling his fingers there, but he could be a good depth piece. But I view Andres Pete as being kind of the Richie Incognito of the offensive line. Have somebody who has a lot of presence and a lot of veteran experience who can then work with these guys and from both the guard and the tackle standpoint, but could also be a plug-in guy in case you have to reuse him in case of injury. But the guys I'm looking for on the offensive line are Jackson Powers Johnson coming in. I don't know whether he'll be a starter right off, but I think he'll certainly work his way into the rotation. Um, I like the development of Thayer Mumford. The guy I really like though, and this is one of the guys I'm going to talk about in a little bit more depth, is a second year player by the name of Dalton Wagner. Dalton Wagner came in and was injured early. The funny thing is that the injury was undisclosed, and I've been doing lots of digging, and I never figure out what the injury was, and look through through lots of different podcasts and just tried to do some digging to find out, but it was always undisclosed. I think, and Dalton Wagner's a massive kid, and I think he's going to help out a lot with the run game. If he comes back healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if he might end up nailing down one of those tackle positions. If he doesn't, I certainly think he can be a strong rotational piece. He's a guy who I've really got my eyes on this coming year to step up. So we'll see if he can stay healthy. I really believe you're going to see a lot of things, a lot of good things for Dalton Wagner. And Cap Jack has said he's going to surprise people, and I think he's not going to surprise me if he stays healthy. I'm not going to be surprised about what happens. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and being hopeful, but we will just see. Now, Jack, I've got four other guys, or actually three other guys I was going to talk about. Three. So Dalton Wagner was the fourth one. Actually, he was the fifth one. So I've already mentioned Carter Bradley and I've mentioned Dalton Wagner. So I got three more. The first one, Jack, you're going to love this. This is a second year player, and he's a linebacker, and he comes out of the University of Florida, and his name is Amari Burney. So Jack likes this one. Amari, I think, is going to get a lot of play during the off season. I'm not sure he's going to crack the starting lineup this year, but I think he can really work his way into a rotational piece in that linebacking core. He's got the speed to be able to cover. I think where he's going to make his bread and butter is on special teams. So if he can come in, if he can come in and if he can step in case somebody gets injured, that would be good. But I think he can certainly be a rotational player and get a lot more burn during the regular season than he did last year. Nothing really was expected of him last year. So in year two, that's where you really look for players to step up. And I think this is where Amari Burney can really step up and make his presence felt, either in the defense or on special teams. Another guy I'm keeping my eye on is another linebacker, and this is number two. Okay, so this is the second one, and this is a guy who really is under the radar. And Jack, you may be familiar with him when he used to play linebacker at Florida State, and then he transferred. He was a 4-year starter at Florida State, redshirt, and then he transferred to the University of North Carolina, where he was a standout. He's a linebacker by the name of Amari Gaynor. So you have two Amaris in the linebacking core. Now, Amari Gaynor was a standout at Florida State before he transferred. But once again, I don't see Amari Gaynor making the squad. He could very well be a practice squad player, but I think if he really steps it up during the preseason, he could be one of those guys who, like Drake Thomas last year, gets picked off of the practice squad or gets picked up by another team. Drake Thomas was a guy I had my eye on last year. He did make the squad, and Seattle picked him up. So now he's on the Seattle roster That's one I think that got away. But again, you can't keep them all, and not all the diamonds in the rough are going to be there. So that's the other one. Now, the last player I'm going to mention is a guy who's currently on the Raiders roster. He was picked up from the Philadelphia Eagles off of their practice squad and was stashed onto the Raiders practice squad. He was then elevated onto the starting lineup during the last 6 games of the year. That's defensive end Janarius Robinson. Now, Janarius Robinson is a guy who I really think is going to be a rotational piece. He's going to make the roster. Of the guys I've mentioned, I think he's definitely going to make the roster. He may not end up being a starting defensive end, but I think he certainly could be a rotational piece. So if you have him, you have Max Crosby, you have Malcolm Kuntz, and then maybe even Tyree Wilson, depending on whether they put him at defensive end or defensive tackle. You've got a good, solid crew at defensive end. So those are the guys I'm looking at really for the guys that I point out. So we have Carter Bradley, the undrafted free agent quarterback, who I think may make the practice squad, and you're going to hear a lot of during the preseason, because I don't think you're going to see very much of Aiden O'Connell. You may see a couple of snaps for Gardner Minshew, although you'll probably see a lot more of them than you did, Derek Carr back in the day, where they didn't play him at all. So you'll probably see AO12 and Gardner Minshew for a couple of series here or there, but I think you're gonna see a heavy dose of Carter Bradley, and of course Anthony Brown as well. But I think Mr. Bradley is going to get a lion's share of the snaps. Janarius Robinson, who again, if he doesn't start at defensive end, I think he's going to be certainly a good rotational piece. The two Amaris, Bernie and Gaynor. Bernie is definitely going to make the Raiders roster, and then Gaynor will not make the roster, but I think he could definitely be a practice squad player. And then the other guy is Dalton Wagner, the massive offensive tackle, who I think is a lock to make the roster, and he could very well challenge for a starting spot. So, having said that, I have talked a lot. I'm going to let Jack have the mic here. I'm going to try to follow along, and then I'm going to look at comments. And once again, this is Riveting Radio, riveting podcast, and we're doing things on the fly. And I appreciate everybody sticking with us so far. And let's see where this thing goes. Let's see how long the plane can stay in the air before it crashes into the ground.
Well, hopefully not. Folks, I want you to do this, because I can't talk and type. If actually I can talk and type at the same time, but it's not good for me. So please tell Tom, if you can, in the comments section, that Robinson was the gentleman, I believe, that had a traffic incident in the off season or late in the year, right after he signed. And he was out of Florida State, and he was the guy. He was on the Eagles. He was a great pickup, and then he goes out. I think it was even in Super Bowl week, and has a traffic incident, which it pissed me off, because I had a high value for Robinson, and it didn't happen. So again, Robinson is a piece, and the Raiders, the defensive line is going to be what do you call it? It's going to be a lot better, because you got Wilkins, you got Max, you got Tyree, you got Kuntz, you got Robinson, you got the other kid that played with the Dolphins that Wilkins is very clear on. So the defensive line, okay. Oh, wait. D line. Oh, this is hilarious. The defensive line is going to be great. Hopefully, people will be able to tell Tom that. As for quarterback, the Wagner is the prototypical passer. The kid Brown is more of a all-purpose throw and pass, because he was the backup for all the people. Was it Jackson in Baltimore? And I think that gives you the like I said, he can run and he can throw, but he's not accurate. So I think that Tom is correct in the fact that not Wagner, but Bradley is probably going to be number 3. Bradley's probably going to be number 3. Dalton Wagner, like I've been telling people, and this is why I got really pissed off at thank you, Butler and Jenkins. Thank you there, Van City. Yes, right here. Yes, okay. Yeah, Adam Butler and John Jenkins. John Jenkins in Miami. Yes, that's right. The D line is going to be fantastic. The linebacker core, like I said, Bernie can cover. He's a former tweener. He's like a safety linebacker, kind of like what we had in the past with Tanner Muse, who didn't make it. What we had with the kid we got now. I don't. No. I don't think so. No. Nope. No. I don't think so. I think the other guy. John. That's fine, but I think that because Brown can't throw. He can't throw. He can run, but he can't throw. This is like charades for fucking Tom. So no. Anyway, so I think that they'll be able to work with Bradley, and he'll be like a good practice squad guy. Wagner, that offensive line, I'm going to say, Tom, I'm talking about the O-line. Tom, that's why I said I need you guys to write this, because I can't write it as quickly as I can. So there you go. Tom, I'm talking about the O-line, the D-line. There you go.
Right, Jack, let me jump in real quick. I am going to exit out and then jump back in on YouTube and see if I can participate in the chat that way with everybody. So I'm sorry this didn't work, this experiment here. And so technology works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. But for those of you who have followed the Only Nation podcast, which I'm on, we're going to be doing our next episode next week. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to do it on YouTube around this same time next week. So we're going to have Heidi Stabbert, myself, and if everything goes correctly, we're going to have the return of Raider Homer. So he's not been with us for quite some time. So that's a little spoiler alert there. So it looks like we're going to have all 3 of us back on. So that's next week, June 30th, around this same time. So stay tuned for that. Also, we have the Raider Roots podcast. I have made it up to the year 2022, but this year I'm doing something different. For the year 2022, I've broken that up into 4 different segments. So we're going to, in segment number 1, we'll be looking at the first 4 games, and then segment number 2, the second 5 games, and then 4 and 4. So we'll take a look at the season and kind of break it down a little bit more detail, because that season was obviously not the best season in the world at 6-11, but I think there were a lot of more bright spots in it than people realize, and that team was a lot more closer to being a success than people realize as well. So we'll take a look at that. So having said that, thank you all. I'm going to jump out and I will jump back in. Jack, you and I will be back in touch in the not too distant future. In the meantime, take care, Raider Nation, and I'll be jumping back in, hopefully, knock on wood, in just a couple of minutes. So we'll see you all later.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. And again, I'm sorry, because Tom was like, "Hey, let's do this. And I was like, "Sure," because people have been asking me when I'm going to have a show, and I was like, "Well, there's not a lot going on. And so I asked Tom what he wanted to talk about, and I knew that Tom would have something to talk about, and hopefully he'll be able to come back in But and he'll be in there. It was bad because again, I was like, dude, I don't know why you can't hear me. I don't know why you can't hear me because I was like saying my microphone was on and everybody could hear me. So I was glad about that. So hopefully Tom will be back in the comments section and we'll see that. So it's a bummer. I'm glad that he was on. I'm glad that we could talk about Raider things. I'm glad that he spoke about things that I wanted to at least delve on. And it was, the linebacker he was talking about, the Amari, the other Amari, which was a Florida State guy and a North Carolina guy. I don't know that much about him. I really don't. Amari Burney, I know a lot about because he's a Florida guy. And as I said, I know that he is a very capable. He's going to be a core special teamer, especially with the new kickoff rules. You're going to need somebody who can actually block and is adept enough that he's quick enough to be like a guy that's quick enough to run. Even the Chiefs had what was like was it a rugby player that they signed? I don't know if that's going to be something that we'll see, but with the kickoff rules being different, we'll see if that happens. But lots of things going on there. Again, I think that the Raiders are going to be adept and everybody, and that's why I got really pissed off again when I was on a other show on YouTube that's broadcast on my channel because I was told that I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when it came to the Raiders and their offensive line situation. And, I'm just saying it pissed me off because I knew about Dalton Wagner. I knew about Thayer Mumford. And again, with the kid that we got from Maryland that's been playing pretty well, everybody's been bitching, or sorry, there are certain people that were bitching and moaning that the Raiders were gonna didn't do what they needed to do, and that's bullshit. They knew what they had in Dalton Wagner. They knew what they had along the offensive line, and the fact that they didn't get a chance to do it. I'm hopefully I'm gonna see, man. I'm gonna see. Hey, Tom. Hopefully you can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
I can he- I can hear you now.
Good, good. Then this is better because I was going to say I wanted you on here. And did you reboot your computer?
Well, I have these new earbuds, and I just went ahead and just exited out. Took the earbuds out, put them back in, and started over again, and they worked. So there you go.
Okay, well I'm glad because I was going over some of the things that you were talking about, and I wanted to talk about, like the fact that on a certain, and I was talking about a certain show that I was on YouTube with that I exited off of because I was told that the Raiders didn't know what the fuck they were doing along the offensive line in the first round, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off
Yeah,
when being called ignorant and not knowing what the fuck I know, and that pissed me off. And I know that I've gone over it again and again and again, and but you know what? When somebody calls me ignorant, that's that is a big fuck you button in my but then
yeah.
when
When
somebody called
somebody
me
calls
ignorant,
you a Chargers fan, that's pretty bad.
yeah, but yeah, they're ignorant, and it was an ignorance from that. And I know you know what I'm talking about, but that I'm just going to
Oh
go
yeah.
without saying. Um,
And I'll be honest with you. When the draft came around, I had an offensive lineman penciled in the first round. But again, I was kind of surprised when they announced Brock Bowers' name. For some reason, I was thinking he'd already been selected. I was thinking I had him as a top 5 pick, and so when the Raiders announced him, I thought, what? Wait a minute, he's not already off the board. That's an excellent pick. I mean, anytime you can get a top 5 player at pick number 13, that's good. That's excellent. And they still were able to pick up a good offensive lineman in round 2, who many people graded as a first rounder. So I
Exactly.
think they did excellent.
Yeah. And so I can't wait. And again, I am not. I haven't been doing any of those shows on the Wednesday show, and I'll call it. The Wild Wild West has not asked me to come back on. No skin off my nose. Don't care. Don't care.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where they didn't ask me to come back on. Can give a flying fuck, because I will say that the NFL Nation live show that I do with Violator along with Ref Guru is going to be on Wednesdays this season. And I don't have to worry about going from one show to the next. And if Wild Wild West would like for me to come on later on, we'll see. I don't care if it happens or not. It still is broadcast on this channel, because as long as, and I will say this, as long as they have content that's good for Raiders fans, it will continue to be broadcast on this channel. If there is nothing that is good for Raiders fans on this channel, it won't be broadcast anymore, and I'll let the folks over there know that, and that's the way it is.
And I've jumped on with them a couple of times as well, and tried to hold it down. But again, yeah, I'm like you, Jack. And of course, anytime you guys want me to jump on with you on Wednesdays, you'll let me know. I'm happy to do that. But
Well,
yeah, I mean,
it's not my show, Tom. It's not my show. That's why I said
oh yeah,
if you want
yeah.
to if you want to go on if you want to go on Wild Wild West, that's fine, because I don't control that show. That's Richie's show. And so
I
that's
mean,
why I
with
said,
you and
if there are
Violator
Raider
and
fans
yeah,
like, well, but see, no, that's a different format. It's me,
mm,
Violator, and Ref, and occasionally we'll have a special guest for a
oh, okay.
particular purpose.
Well, let me know if you want me to
Different
come in for
different
something
formats of
specific.
the show. So it's not like this.
Gotcha.
It's sure, sure. If there's anything that we have that would be worthwhile, sure. But again, that's not my
Perfect.
show either. That is Ref's show and Violator show,
Gotcha.
where I am the third person in, and I don't dictate
Sure.
to that. Um,
Understood.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want
You
I
know me,
wanted
I'll
to
just like
give
to
you
jump
an
on and
answer
run my mouth.
below, an honorable mention for not sucking up and representing the Raider Nation live like Jack Kennedy is. Okay. Hey, John, watch that. Watch that, because I don't watch, but I think that Kenna is a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Kenna is a little bit more. I don't want to say politically. He's not politically correct, but he works with people a little bit better than I do. Okay, he works with people a little bit better than I do. I am a salty fuck that doesn't care to work with certain people. So don't say that he swings on nuts. As long as he has a Raider insight, okay. Unlike some people that say, if you don't think, if this is what's the truth, and if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong. I don't have that. Okay, I don't have that, because there are different views, and everybody has what they can express their own views. So watch that, John. I don't think that that's cool. I'm just letting you know, John. But that's me. Ken is not a true Raiders fan. That's right. No, see, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong, John. You're wrong. His views are his views. Okay, but I'm if you and by the way, John, if you have that view with Jack, that's your opinion. And as the old expression is, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and they're not all the best smelling, or something along those lines. But that's it. But Jack Kennedy is a true Raiders fan, so please don't say that that's not right. But anyway,
Jack,
first
I'm
off,
going
I'm
to jump
glad
in.
that that you're back to Tom.
It's kind of like you
Go
remember a
ahead.
couple of years ago. In fact, it even bled over to last year. The big controversy we had on Derek Carr. You had some people who loved Derek Carr and they were Carr apologists for everything. There were others that hated Derek Carr, and anything that you had to say positive about him, you got shat upon. I was kind of middle of the road. I love Derek Carr for the time that he quarterbacked for the Raiders. I thought that he did as well as he could with the teams that were built around him. I thought that what should have happened is they should have gone ahead and grandfathered him in and carried him on to the 2023 year and had that be his last season. I think that the things did not end well. I think they could have ended it much better. I blame that on Mark Davis. I blame that on Ziegler and McDaniels, and really I blame it on the whole scouting department because again I think that the what the disservice that they've done to the Raiders organization over the years is they've not drafted a quarterback every year, and I think when you don't do that, you're missing out on potential talent. You're just kind of settling for what you have. When you're grasping for straws, when you grab a guy like Jimmy G, who is injury prone, when you grab a guy like Jared Stidham, who's injury prone and unproven, rather than trying to draft guys who are in their rookie contracts. And of course, winning programs develop rookie quarterbacks and have quarterbacks that are on their rookie deal and that way you can build so many of the pieces of the lineup around them. Having said that, I would never denigrate anybody who was a solid Derek Carr fan or those that were Carr haters. We were all Raiders fans. It doesn't mean that anybody was more so or less so because they had different opinions. Now I screamed and hollered and threw things at the TV just like everybody, and cursed 10 times worse than Jack. You've never heard me curse, but yeah, I can
You
curse with
know
the best
what?
of them.
Everybody's heard me. Right. Everybody's heard me curse and said that I'm like I have bad. I've heard Tom curse. He has cursed,
Yeah.
and it's like, but it's like he's very. It comes out as like, wow, he just fucking cursed, Whereas I'm a little bit more looser about it, but he's cursed. But I get the bad, juju of being the potty mouth. But that's the way it is. And Tom,
I don't I don't
thank you for that. Yeah, I let
I
it
don't
fly.
usually
You
talk
don't.
shit.
There you go. And I wanted
Yeah.
to see you there. It was here we go. View of the our running back room.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Farrell. I'll get to Jimmy Farrell's comment next when you're done with that there, Tom.
Well, running back room again. Zamir White's really going to have to step up, and again, we think we know what we have in him, but we just haven't seen enough of it. Um, I certainly think that we're not going to rely on Zamir White anywhere near the way we did on Josh Jacobs. I don't think you're going to see that now. Britton Brown obviously comes back. That's a talent as well, but uh, Brandon Bolden is gone. Amir Abdullah has still got a little bit left in the tank. So I think that there is enough. And of course, Dylan Lobby, everybody loves him coming in. I think he's going to have an impact in both the passing game, kind of like um, I'm trying to remember the fullback we had a couple of years ago out of Wisconsin. I can't. I've completely drawn a blank. Who I absolutely loved.
Yeah, the kid that's
And
on the Dolphins now. They
on
got the
Dolphins, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Alec Ingold. There we go. Okay, I knew if I thought about it, I would, but absolutely loved him, and I think if you can have a player like that who can be a versatile inside outside guy, that's going to happen a lot. But I think the passing game is where this team is really going to make its bread and butter. If you can get Zamir White coming out of the backfield, if you can get Britton Brown coming out of the backfield, Dylan Lobby. I think that's where you're going to see the bulk of it. Not to say that we can't have a good running game, but I think this team, I think, is going to be predicated on the passing game getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, and getting plays designed where players can get into open space and make plays. The speed of Trey Tucker, Devontae Adams, obviously that goes without saying, and Brock Bowers. You truly have a guy who can make things happen down the field. I think in year two, you're going to see things out of Michael Mayer that you didn't before, and Jacoby Myers has already proven that he's a really solid, dependable number two. So I think this receiving core is going to be in good shape. Again, injuries, hopefully they stay healthy, but I think that's where you're going to see the bread and butter. Of this team, not the run game. But the run game, I think this team is going to be passed to set up the run, as opposed to all the years where we saw Josh Jacobs run to set up the pass.
Okay. Okay. And oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm watching. I'm listening. Uh,
Yeah. Asylum says
there's
Lobby is going to surprise people. I think he's not. I think he is going to be a star during the preseason. And I don't think he's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. People will be talking his name early and often, I believe.
hmm Yeah, I like all of these. I just had a notice on Instagram, and it's from obviously one of those fake Instagram whores. About the best way I can say it. The ones that are the ones that's that pimp you for like like here. Stop being a scam. I'm not friggin' stupid. But again, it's when you have when you have the collection of people that we have as a group. And then Jimmy Farrell said that Richie said the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl. I think Richie Rich needs to be piss test immediately, because the Broncos I don't think have done that much. I might be wrong, but apparently he think whatever Richie Rich says is obviously right. I mean, Richie Rich, whatever he says is the God's truth. If you think if you're Richie Rich, but I don't think so, and that's just the way it is. But I'm not going to think anything about the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. I'd like to see the Broncos beat the Raiders for once, and then we can go from there. And until that
Jack, I think
happens, that's well, that might happen this year eventually, but they haven't beaten the Raiders since the Raiders have been in Vegas, and until they do, I think Richie Rich is just he needs to lay off the what was it? Stephen A. Smith said, or A. Stephen Smith says, "Stay off the drugs or stay off the weed." There you go. Stay off the
I love
weed, Rich.
I love Richie, but I'll tell you this, and this is not and I've got family in Denver, so and I'm not saying anything against the city at all, but looking at the talent level and where this team is and how far they've got to go to get competitive, if they're going to be leaning heavily on Bo Nix, who I don't think is going to be all that coming out, and if of course if you don't turn to him, who are you going to turn to? Zach Wilson, really, or Jared Stidham, who is injury prone? I think realistically, this Denver Bronco team this year has a floor of 5 wins and a ceiling of 7. So again, I think you're going to see realistically, you're looking at a 5-win team. They could win as many as 7 games, but no more than that. So you're looking at probably at best a 7-10 team, but in all likelihood, you're looking at a 5-12 team.
I agree with that.
And
And
they will finish last in the division.
yeah, and see that's the funny thing. Everybody says that we have issues at quarterback. I'm like, I like who we have at quarterback more than who they have a quarterback. They being the Broncos. I think that obviously the Chargers have a good quarterback, but I don't think they have a lot of other things that they have on top of them. And that's why I really firmly believe that the Raiders, and this is, I'm not saying this as a biased or somebody who's smoking dope. I like what we see with the Raiders across the board, roster wise. And I think that this is the year that we usurp Or, remember that year in 16 where the Raiders were 12-4 and the Chiefs were 12-4, and unfortunately the Raiders were the wild card and they got blown out in the first game. I think that the Raiders have the possibility of being better than, or at least on the same record as the Chiefs, and then it's going to come down to uh, who wins the tiebreakers. That's just me, and I think that obviously the Garglers are going to suck, and the Donkeys are going to suck, and then I'm going to have the final laugh when it comes to people on the Wild Wild West show, because I'll be like, right there. So there you
Well,
go.
of course, the Chargers are penciled in to win the Super Bowl every year. Uh,
Yeah.
Everybody jumps on that Charger hype train, and of course they suck going out of the gates every year. So every time that happens, I just smile and say, okay, here we go again. We're on that Chargers hype train, and everybody's talking about Jim Harbaugh. Well, let me tell you something. Uh, Jim Harbaugh is not gonna, I think, make a lot of popular inroads with the players. He's a hard ass, and I think it's gonna be a real stark contrast to what the Chargers players are used to, and the ones who really thought that they had a handle on things. I think you may have a little bit of a mutiny on your hands. Now Harbaugh makes things work, but if everybody's planning on him to come in and turn around things, just like they imagined that Sean Payton was going to come and magically turn things around in year one of his regime. Not going to happen. Um, I have circled game one on the Raiders calendar. I think this is going to be our Super Bowl, to be honest with you, because game two is going to be a real tough one on the East Coast against Baltimore. This team cannot start out 0-2. If it does, it's going to be behind the eight ball, and you really don't want to start out 0-2 if you're having any shot at making the playoffs. So I think that uh, all eggs are in the basket. I think all the chips are pushed in for week one in LA, a place that we haven't won yet against the Chargers. So in SoFi Stadium, that our brand new luxurious stadium, home away from home, which really should have been our home stadium to begin with. The NFL just really screwed that one up. But I'm happy that we're in Las Vegas, and I really had that game circled because I think that the Raiders really need to win that first game coming out.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to go to the first LA game, which is the season opener. I am going to Baltimore, and just like last year, I missed the opener, and I went to the second game on the East Coast, and I'm hoping that it will be different than last year because I went to Buffalo for the second game on the in the state on the schedule right after I got fired. So that was not a good weekend for me. You get fired on a Friday, and then you go to Buffalo, and you don't. We had that first touchdown, which was right next to me in Hollywood. It was wonderful to see that, but I don't know. I said so. I'm hoping that we come out. We kick the Chargers' ass. I'm being kind, calling them the Chargers. I usually just call them the Garglers, and I'm hoping that we kick the Garglers' ass. And I'm hoping that we can beat the Ravens, and I think we can. I think we have the defense to beat the Ravens. The one thing that has gotten me about John Harbaugh, not Jim, but I remember, and I'm sure you remember this game too, Tom, when the Ravens were kicking our ass in Baltimore, and they went out. Oh, thanks, Cal. Thanks, Callie Day. Thanks for being here. Tell friends about it, by the way. Thank you for being here. Um, they were up like about 21 points at least. They were 3 touchdowns ahead, and they came out to kick a field goal, and he ran a fake field goal for another touchdown.
I remember
And
that. Yeah.
and I'm like, you motherfuckers! I've always hated John Harbaugh. since then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know I remember it. I don't know if anybody else does, but
Yep.
I want to be 2-0 against the Harbaughs come our opener against the Panthers. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope happens because again, I'm going to Baltimore and Baltimore fans just are those Northeast type fans that they're really ugly. They're ugly fans, and they're like Philly fans, Pittsburgh fans, Boston fans, especially. You know, uh, they're ugly fans, and I hope that we can go into Baltimore, and I don't like I said, just win, baby. I don't care what the score is, just win. Doesn't matter, just win.
I was in Baltimore in 2016, and practically Michael Crabtree practically ended up in my lap when he did that toe tap in the back of the end zone when they had that come from behind touchdown. So that was wonderful. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So that was a real special game.
Yeah, and now what he had 3 touchdowns that game, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, okay. And he was the reason why we won. And yes, Derek Carr was the reason why we won too. Obviously, he threw to Crabtree, and they had that rapport. And it was Matt. They might not be as ugly as Phillies fans, but they give them a run. And trust me, I know Matt because I'm from Philly. I'm from Philly. I don't eat shit. Literally, I don't eat shit like Philly fans do after they win a Super Bowl. You saw that video, right?
Philly fans are in a class all by themselves.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right behind them are Cowboys fans. Uh,
Uh, I think Philly fans are abusive. My right behind them are New York fans and Boston fans. Those are my two. Philly, Boston, and New York are as far as opposition, are the worst fans that I've ever had to deal with. And I would say Jets fans more than Giants fans, but Jets fans are horrible. Philly fans are horrible, and I'm from Philly, as you can see. But yeah, New York, New
Jack, you
York
got to
fans.
got to give Jets fans a pass when you're in misery your entire life.
I
You know.
I get it, but you know what? It's like, and they think, oh, and here's the other one. Jets fans are going to the. They think they're going to the Super Bowl now that Rodgers is upright.
No, no, Jack, the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. They'll be in section 124.
Okay. I don't
They'll be
I
they'll
don't
be
know
in
where that
section
is in Orleans.
124.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know where that is in Orleans, but I'm in 126. But that's in Allegiant. But
They'll be right near you. Yeah.
Pittsburgh has a draft. Maybe Jared. I like the draft because you see fans, and again, and I hate the term, but you see super fans as the collective are called from all over, and I have no problem with fans that dress. That's what I said. Fans that dress and are known. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that are of that collective. That's why I enjoy going to Canton. That's why I enjoy going to the draft. So to see my friends from other teams as a collective. Okay.
Yeah.
But the majority or the regular Joe and Josie's fans of those teams, they could just be horrible, horrible. But yeah, Jimmy
Well,
Farrell said
Jack, I'm going to have to exit out. I
uh,
appreciate everybody who's in there. You and I will chop it up again real soon. Once again, I want to thank everybody for having me in, and Jack especially. And if you're anywhere around next week, remember the Only Nation podcast. We're gonna jump on YouTube next week around the same time. So It'll be me and Homer and Heidi. Knock on wood. Hopefully things will be like they used to be back in the old days. So we will see, and we'll have some new things cooked up, and we'll look forward to talking again. So Jack, we'll have to try to have you on the show again at some point,
Yeah,
and look
I
forward
said
to.
I will come. I will come on shows providing I know about them, and
Yeah.
I make plans. I was supposed to be on a show yesterday, and I had a migraine from hell when I woke up, and it was for the gentleman. I
Mm,
was Raider Jason, who's
gotcha.
out in California, and I
Yeah.
felt bad because I was going to be on that show, and I had a fucking was it a sinus migraine, and I wasn't
Yeah.
doing shit yesterday. So hopefully,
You had
I'll
a
be out
Terrell
there.
Davis.
I had a Terrell Davis.
You
I
had a
did.
Terrell
It
Davis. Yeah.
was
All right.
horrible.
Well, listen. Thanks again, Jack. We'll talk to you soon. Everybody in the chat. You all have a pleasant evening. Go Raiders, and we'll catch up with you again really soon.
You
Take
got
care.
it. Hey, thanks, Tom. I'm glad you came in. It's good to see that Tom got a chance to come back. I was like, I don't know why you can't hear me. Everybody else can. But anyway, thank you there. Got to ask outside of football, what was your spit take on what happened at the golf tournament today with all the fans storming the ground? Jared, you know, Jared, I really, really wish you would get your shit together to get your iPhone to come in. I would have you come in and talk about it. Why? I didn't watch it. I don't remember what I watched today. Oh, I watched the Phillies game today. I watched the Phillies game today because that was on Roku, which, by the way, we are on Roku, I think. We're on Roku on the Northeast Streaming Sports Network right now. So I watched the Phillies game on Roku. Phillies get the 50 wins. They're 50-26, the best record in the National League. They used to be the best record in baseball, but the Yankees got that. Captain's my skirt. Thanks, JT. But Yankees lost 3 straight series. Wow. Well, the Phillies lost 2 prior to them winning the series with the Diamondbacks. So the Phillies got 50 today. I think the Yankees got like 51 or 52. So that's just the way that is. But anyway, the Phillies got something to prove, which is one of the reasons why I'm wearing my Phillies hat. Can't wait. And I will be trying to go through and talk in sports. We did start out, we actually talked a little bit about the Stanley Cup. And Tom was talking about the the Florida Panthers, which are not one of my favorite teams because they're in the East. So obviously you know how I feel about Eastern, and the Lightning were out of it. And I say, hey, when the Flyers are out of it, and when the Lightning are out of it, it's just I'm rooting for the Oilers. Okay, they're not my team, but I'm rooting for the Oilers because, and this is another reason why. Dan Levitard got on his soapbox and was denigrating Connor McDavid, right? Connor McDavid, and how basically he sucked, and was laughing and giggling and ha 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 ha. And I'm not sure. Did you guys see the Dan Levitard show during the draft? Because it was myself and Steampunk and I think IE had we were on a segment for the Levitard show, and I'm hoping that it actually got play. I have to see. But I like Dan Levitard, but you know what? The minute you open your mouth for something as asinine as that, you better stand by. You better stand by. I would love to see the Oilers win go back and win 4 straight. Just like I loved it when the Flyers won 4 straight against the Bruins. What year was it? I was in Yemen. So it would have been 2011. It was the year before they won the Stanley Cup. So I was in Yemen, and for them to come back and win, the Flyers beating the Bruins was wonderful. So hopefully that will be something that will happen again. I would love to see the Oilers win because again, Panthers fans are not the greatest either. And I can say that because I've dealt with Miami fans. And if I go to Miami this year for the game, I'm probably going to drive down on Saturday, make an appearance Saturday night, and then go sleep in or sleep at my buddy's house, and then go to the game on Sunday and drive right back. But we'll see. Um, Miami's not very hospitable either. It's not very hospitable either. But by the way, what I'm doing, like I said, I'm watching all of the. I mean, I got on my what do you call it? The menu, Turner Classic Movies and Fox Movies and MGM Movies, like that. And the uh, I went through their listings, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching that. So I have these on record. Sand Pebbles, The Great Santini. Two I had. Blue Max was on there. So war movies, right? But movies that are wonderful, wonderful, that I can't wait to see. So they're going to be recorded, and I got them on my what do you call it, guide. Can't wait. Again, there's not a lot to talk about. Talking about my Phillies kicking ass, right? Talking about the Raiders and their OTAs and training camp upcoming. I'm hoping I can get into the training camp because I called my ticket guy, and apparently um, it's only for club season ticket holders, and I'm not a club season ticket holder, which is upsetting. But Jason Dean, good to see you. I'm doing fine. And Blue Max, yep. James Mason. Also, by the way, it had Ursula Andress in it as the hot babe in the movie The Blue Max. Uh, there are 2 actors in there. The two German actors that are in there. Anton Diffring, who was in he was in Where Eagles Dare, as well as the soccer movie with Sly Stallone. I remember his name, but the other guy was the guy who played the colonel of the squadron, who played Rommel in Patton. Can't remember what his name was, but he was in the Blue Max as well. Sand Pebbles, fantastic movie, one of my favorites. How do you think the quarterbacks will play for your season? Good question, Ken. Victory. Thank you there, Jason Dean. The guy Anton Diffring was the announcer, but he was also in Where Eagles Dare. He was the colonel in Where Eagles Dare. Great, my favorite movie. My favorite movie, Where Eagles Dare, followed closely by Patton. My favorite movies. Anyway, no, 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 not Max von Sydow, Jared. It was Anton Diffring. Anton Diffring was the announcer. Max von Sydow was the German officer in charge of getting things together. Anton, look him up. Anton Diffring. He was in Where Eagles Dare. I know about the Max von Sydow. Okay. Anyway, what else we got going on? Got it on DVD and Blu-ray. Oh, what, the Sand Pebbles? Great movie. Me being a sailor, love it. A very young Candice Bergen is in that. Steve McQueen. Uh, Also, Richard Crenna and oh my God, Richard Attenborough. One of the so the cast is amazing. Cast is amazing in Sand Pebbles. Raiders versus Ravens. I'm having trouble buying my parking. Can I buy a parking at the game if I can't buy it ahead? I don't know, Jimmy Farrell. I'm gonna try to find a way to the game as well. Michael Caine, yep. Had Michael Caine, Sylvester Stallone, and Pele, yeah. So victory. Again, movies. Love movies. I said that's why we're in the summer. We gotta watch shit, right? I got stuff on DVD. I'm watching NCIS. I'm taping old episodes of NCIS. I'm taping old episodes of 911. Saw the first season of 911 based on one of the channels, and so that was cool. And also Blue Bloods, I will watch old Blue Bloods episodes because they're better than the shit that's on TV right now. So anyway, what do you? Oh, one other thing. This is what else you do in the summer. Here it is. Okay, I bought this at Sam's Club. Was it about a week ago? And I'm over halfway done. Over halfway done. This is what I need to read, and I don't read. I'm not a reader. But it's a Clancy book. So obviously, being an intel guy like I am, and a military guy, and this book is amazing. Amazing. I can't, and again, it's a Clancy book. It's not written by Tom Clancy because obviously Tom Clancy is dead. But the guys that came in and did the job, Andrews and Wilson, those are like the ghostwriters, or they're not really good, but those are the guys that wrote the book. They got their stuff and they write it based on Jack Ryan characters from Clancy. Fantastic book. Fantastic book. Highly recommended. Again, I'm not a reader. But you gotta do things during the summer, right? Gotta do things during the summer. So I watch my Phillies. I will watch the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Okay. I was going to say, okay. Like I said, I if I'm going to read, I'm going to read. Audiobooks, not a fan, especially now that I actually have the time to read. Top 10 movies would be, they change so much, but here are the 10. Annie Hall, okay. Woody Allen. Deer Hunter, definitely. Out of Africa, 7. All the President's Men. Apocalypse Now. Rocky. Network. What's your top 3, Jared? Let's see. I see it now. And we've gone over, by the way, Jared has a wonderful, what is it? A Facebook group for movies. A Facebook group for movies. And I'm in that group because I'm a movie guy just like him. But you watch reruns. You watch shit you want to watch. I do found out I can watch The Acolyte, which is the new, it's on Disney. It's on the Star Wars thing on Disney. There's 4 episodes in. I haven't watched them yet, but I'm probably going to watch them eventually. Yeah, audiobook. I agree with you, Kim. When you don't have time, audiobooks are fun. The original Odd Couple. Yep, I like that one. The original Odd Couple. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. The Wild Bunch. The French Connection and Tombstone. Okay. Uh, okay, I got to ask, Jared, and I know that you think it's the number one movie. I like The French Connection. But what car scene was better, French Connection or Bullet? I like Bullet's car scene better. Is it just me? If you've seen the car scene in Bullet and you know about the car scene in French Connection, I think the car scene in Bullet is better. Is this the first show? Let me see here. Oh yeah, pilot. Okay, I'm going. Is this a pilot again after this? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna record these series is set to Orphan Black. So I'll see if they. I saw these advertisements for it, and I'm thinking that maybe there'll be something unique to watch, like a sci-fi thing. So we'll see that. Original, okay. French Connect. I don't know, Jimmy Farrell. I think Bullets. I think Bullets car scene is better. Bullet scene was amazing in streets of San Francisco. Exactly. Okay. The Steve McQueen in Bullet doing the car scene better than French Connection. French Connection was good, but this is what. So again, if you got something you want to talk about, and Jared, please fix your fucking phone so you can come in. You can be, and you don't have to be on camera. Just make sure your microphone works. Just make sure the microphone works, right? That's all. Yeah, Jacqueline Bissett in Bullet. Anyway, we've gotten. Ugh, pardon me, I'm getting old, man. Every show I do, it's like I'm yawning. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Anyway, Popeye Doyle, I got one better. Ask you all, who was better, Gene Hackman or Dirty Harry? Dirty Harry. Okay, Dirty Harry had more movies. Dirty Harry had more movies. I think there was a sequel to The French Connection. What was it? I can't remember because he was Hackman was in two movies, but Dirty Harry. If you take all of the roles together, I like Gene Hackman. Though. I do. I like Gene Hackman, but that's me. So again, we got baseball. Who else? Who else you got? And I was almost ready to wear. I was almost ready to wear my Dallas Nowitzki jersey. Unfortunately, oh my god, can't stand, can't stand the friggin', can't stand them, can't stand the Celtics, can't stand it. I had to deal with that. French Connection to the plot was good, okay, but Dirty Harry to the first 9 to 4, was suddenly all good, Deadpool. Yeah, I was gonna say I liked Magnum Force. I thought was the best of those Dirty Harry movies. Any talk on Caitlin Clark? Not yet, but I think I said maybe I said this on a show. I know I've spoken about it, but I'm sorry. We're 12 women on the basketball team. Is Caitlin Clark better than those 12 women? The answer is no. There are no rookies on that team. Now, could you take Brittany Griner off that team just because of the incident of being, uh, captured in Russia? I'd take her off if you're going to take somebody off. But is Caitlin Clark better than Brittany Griner? Is she better than those 12 girls? The answer is no. A man as well as Caitlin Clark has to know her limitation. And Jimmy, there you go. Your opinion. But there's a reason why she's struggling overall. She's struggling in the WNBA because it's now she's a professional. Now she's a professional. Um, I think that and here's another one. Maybe you take off Diana Taurasi, but Diana Taurasi's still a better player than Caitlin Clark. No, I know, Jared. I know you did the line. I know you did the line. Man's got to know his limitations. By the way, Magnum Force, what was it? David Soul, Robert Urich, Tim Matheson, and I can't remember who the fourth guy was. The fourth guy wasn't as famous as those three other guys, and of course Hal Holbrook. But Tim Matheson, David Soul, Robert Urich, and the fourth guy, right? Yeah, Mitchell Ryan's in there as the old cop that got. By the way, Suzanne Summers was in that. I don't think she was credited, but if you go back and tell me if I'm wrong, Jared, because you're a movie guy. Tell me if I'm wrong. Go back to the scene, the pool scene, where the guy kills all of the people in the pool. Suzanne Summers was the blonde. I don't think she was credited in that movie. I don't. It was like she was the busty blonde in the pool scene. I don't think she got an acting credit, and she didn't say anything. But Suzanne Summers was in Magnum Force too. There you go. Anyway, what else are we talking about? And again, Jimmy Farrell, Caitlin Clark will be on the next few Olympics. Yeah, she was uncredited, but it was Suzanne Summers. I know a few things. But no, Caitlin Clark, if somebody drops, sure. Was it about race? Maybe. Maybe. But I don't think Caitlin Clark is better than the 12 collection of 12 girls, ladies, sorry, that are on the team. My opinion. She's number 13. She's number 13. Scott Magnavoris, he was, I think, in some others too, Dirty Harry and the Forster. John Mitchell? I don't know. Anyway, I also like, what was her name? Sunny, the Japanese girl. Maybe she was Korean because maybe it was Sun Yi. But Sunny was the Japanese girl. I think it was Japanese. The girl who lived downstairs that Clinton was banging later on and almost got wiped out but in the mailbox. She was hot. Robert Mitchell. In what movie? It's Mitchell Ryan, Jimmy Farrell. It's Mitchell Ryan. That much I know. Yeah, Felton Perry. Yeah, that was the black guy partner. Robert Mitchum? I don't recall. I know Mitchell Ryan was in that. Why are we? Come on, talk sports. Anyway, When's the All-Star game's upcoming too, right? When's that? Let me Google that. MLB All-Star. MLB All oh, as All-Star voting, which I'm going to do now since I brought it up. I'm going to do probably just a bunch of Phillies. Alec Bohm, sure. First base, shit. Of course, it's going to be Bryce Harper. And let's see who else. Maybe Vlad Guerrero. Yeah, probably Vlad. Second base. Yeah. I wish I could vote for a Philly here. But I tell you what. Arias is the best. Can't stand Altuve. I am not going to vote for him. I'm not going to vote for him. Definitely not the Yankee. No, hell no. I apparently got to vote for somebody. No, not getting my vote out today. Can't stand it. I'll do this in a minute. Let's go back to the show. Studio. Talk about Santa watching to see Dirty Harry in action. I think it was released Christmas Day. Oh, yeah. 3 weeks. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do the All-Star vote while I got it on. But that'll be something I do. Came out. And, Anthony Estrada, good to see you. Hey, what's up? Salute to the captain. Thank you there, sir. And I'll put that up. Thank you for being here. I've been lazy. I've come back from my vacation, and I've been lazy. It's I eventually will be going to work part time in like August, and then bits of other times. It's like temporary duty, like 3 weeks at a time. I'll do it when I need to, but I really am enjoying. I'm semi-retired. We are almost an hour and a half. Hey, if you want to come on the show, we are an hour and a half into the show. We had Tom in. If you want to come into the show, I'll put the link up. You guys can come in. So I'm going to paste it up. Come into the show. If you don't come into the show, I'm going to probably cut it at 90 minutes. Why? Because I can. And two, because I probably got to go. I do got to go to the bathroom. So if you want to come into the show, come on in. Like it, share it. Good to see people. And again, I want to say I want to give props to everybody who's here. Let me go back to the beginning. Let's see here. We had Tom on the show. I want to say, oh, by the way, John Leon, thank you for this. John Leon gave $10, and I appreciate that. Yes, John, I know I have not done a drawing. I don't know if John Leon's still here. I need to do a drawing. Hania was in here. Callie Dave was in here. Jimmy Farrell, we talked Matt Marinovich, thank you. I still think that Aiden O'Connell is going to be our starting quarterback. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, John Leon's been here. Ken Asylum has been in here. I saw John Leon, Clayton Heron. Good to see you as well. Mike Adair. Thank you there, sir. Anna Diaz. Salute. Thank you for being in here. JT, Tails by Diesel, has been in here. Um, who else has been in here? Okay. Uh, yeah. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. I want to make sure so we had Tom in here, we had Jimmy Farrell, had Ken, we got Anna Diaz, Matt Marinovich, Eddie. Eddie was here. Eddie Winchell. Hey, Rafa was in here. Capitan Rafuccio. To make sure I talked about Hot Neil, Matt Marinovich. Let's see. Eddie Winchell has stated. Van City was talking. Yeah, Van City made a comment. Thank you there, Van City. Let's see here. Callie Dave, I said. John, I said, I Ken is more diplomatic than I am. Ken is more diplomatic than I am. A fan asked if you win the next two. He said the Broncos. For Richie to say that, he's hot. He's hot. Who else is here? Mike Eisner. Thank you there, Mike Eisner. Did I see my buddy from yeah, not Mike Eisner, but also my buddy from Pennsylvania, Erie, Doug Apel. There you go. Thank you there, Doug. Diamond Day player for the Otters before he got drafted. He was a very nice young man. There you go. And that, thank you, Doug, for that, because I missed it the first time. Jason Dean Hunter was in here. Thank you for that. There's nothing wrong with Connor McDavid. Okay, kid's doing his job, and for people like Dan Levitard to rag him. Okay, it's hard to win a Stanley Cup. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. So, okay, you're diplomatic? No, 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 no. No, Ken, you're not. Kenna is. Not Ken Mendelsohn. Jack Kenna. He's more diplomatic than I. We were talking about that he's on Wild Wild West, and I haven't been asked back to Wild Wild West. And if I don't, I'm not going to. I'm not going to be. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not going to be. Losing sleep. I'm not going to be losing sleep. We are at the one. Like I said, if you want to come into the show, there you go. Hit the link up again. I try to do things and talk about things. I will say that Thursday there will be an author on the show. His name escapes me, but I got him. He does sports books. Sports books. And I apologize. I'm brain farting his name right now, but it is an author, and he'll be on the show Thursday. So be ready. There will be a show on Thursday. So if I do one between now and then, probably not. But if I do, then you'll see it. And I like doing shows when there's things to talk about. If there ain't things to talk about, why? Why be here, right? So anyway, I put the link up. I'm going. I have to use the restroom. I should have done this. I should have done this a few minutes ago, but I'm going to do it now. So be right back. Hit the link, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll have some folks come on and be here. But I'll be right back. So don't go nowhere. All right, we're back. I don't see anybody here. Bummer. So go back to the comments. See if I'm missing anything. Nope, no more, no further comments. If you want to come into the show, please, 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 right here, go here because if not, I'm gonna go eat. The Sunday night, it's 10:30. I'll probably go out and um, get a burger. But yeah, come on into the show, and I appreciate everybody that's been here. I said I tried to give shouts out to everybody. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Eddie, all right. Ed Winchell tells me to go get a burger. I probably will. I'm going to go get a burger. So I've waited, and thank you. By the way, I want to say thanks again for all the people that supported, people that came in. Remember, like, share it up, push it out there, and we'll see you. Like I said, Thursday definitely will be a show Thursday, and I can't remember who the gentleman is. Thanks, Ed. I always get positives from Ed. Thank you there. So we will have a show Thursday. There will be an author on the show. He's a sports author, and let me see if I can find his name real quick. Uh, see here. He was a friend of mine from LinkedIn. So let me go. I know it was a LinkedIn uh, conversation that I had. Let's see here. Oh, Kirk McKnight. Kirk McKnight. Yeah. Yeah, he is an author. Let's see here. And so and I'm writing this to him right now. I already teased your appearance on Thursday. Looking forward to your bio. So Kirk McKnight is going to be our guest. Let's see if I can do some info. Let's see here. Kirk McKnight. Trying to go to. Okay, come on. Why isn't his name? Here we go. No. I want information on him, Kirk McKnight. Why can't I look for him? Okay. Good. Oh, there you go. Okay. And I'm sending it now. Okay, there we go. There we go. I didn't send the message. This is Kirk McKnight's bio. Editor for author of The Voices of Baseball, the game's greatest broadcasters reflect on pastime, and The Voices of Hockey, broadcasters reflect on the fastest game on earth. Okay, and so he will be on our show on Thursday. Kirk McKnight, Voices of Baseball, Voices of Hockey. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I sent him a message. So look out for our show on Thursday. Thanks, C-Dub. I miss people too. I can't wait to do things. Like I said, I will be out. I wanted to go to the Raider fan convention we just had. There was another one that's coming up in San Diego. Unfortunately, I can't go to that. I got to start figuring out how I'm going to go to these different things, and it's called money. Need money. So until I figure that one out, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. So I will see people again for the show on Thursday. Kirk McKnight, the author, will be on, talking about sports broadcasters for baseball and hockey. Yeah, that'll be a unique thing to talk about. And we'll see you, hopefully, for your show, and for my show, you'll be there for our show. So take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the outro. Take care, everybody, and see you Thursday.